thank you very much for joining me for this video, appreciate it. Today we're going to be looking at how to create a hidden menu, and to grant access to the hidden menu we're going to pick a letter from this logo up here. I picked K. When we click it, menu appears. Click it again, it disappears, and all this without JavaScript. Obviously this isn't a real security measure because it's obviously available within the source code. It's just a bit of fun, but it just gives you a bit of a skill set should you want to go on to create something similar. So the usual thing, we're going to create an index.html and also styles.css. Now in the index we're going to do the exclamation tab and then scroll in so you can actually see it. So we've got the styles over here, so we can probably open with live server. In fact, let's save that first, be a good idea. Open this, and over here we've got a blank document. Okay, let's close that, give us a bit more space. Let's just put hidden menu. Right, the first thing I am going to do is create the navbar, so I'll give that a class of navbar, just a div. I'm actually going to get out the way. Let's do a class of logo actually. Just leave it there as a placeholder, 'cause that's where we're going to be doing the magic. And I'm also going to get the UL. Let's give it class of menu. Let's just get this out of the way first. So how many of these should we have? We'll have 5. In fact, let's get rid. Well, I put A tags in those. I've undone so it doesn't work. There we go. Times 5 A tag. Okay. There we go. Each line must have a memory or something. Right, anyway, let's put a hashtag in here. Let's put the menu items in here. Home, about, services, portfolio, and contact. Save, and there they are. Okay, so we've got the menu. Now we want to add the logo. Now for the NTW, let's go back and see the example. The NTW here is going to be in a span because it's a different colour, so let's separate it out in a span like so. NTW, that's that bit. I'm going to do all of this on one line so it works as it should. I'll show you what happens if you don't. Let's put G because we want to separate the K out. So in fact, let's go to another line, put label, and the label is going to be for the hidden menu checkbox. So let's call it that, hidden menu check box. And I'm also going to use that as the ID, like so. What's happened there? Copy that. Okay, we've got gremlins today, haven't we? Okay, and let's put the rest of the logo. So it'll be the SVILLE, SVILLE, like so. But that is after the label. So let's just make this a bit bigger so you can see what's going on. So you've got the label here, and after the label you've got the rest of the logo or text, and before it you've got the other logo and text. So we need to put the K in somewhere, don't we, which goes in here. And then because we have a label for copy. In fact, let's get rid of this because I have done that wrong, haven't I? It was trying to tell me, I just ignored it. Let's do the input because that's what it's going to be for. So this is a checkbox, and the name, yeah, is going to be this, and the ID is going to be this. Okay, so now we've got the input. Let's just save that and see what's happened there. Right, there's our checkbox. If we click on it, it doesn't really do anything. If we click on the K, then it does. But we've got a space here between the NTWG and the XVIL. Really should have picked a better letter, shouldn't I? Anyway, so if we go back to the code, we put it all on one line. So let's move this to here. There we go. That's better. So there are other ways to do it, but this is the simplest way. If you just put it all on one line, it's very easy to read. So we've got the checkbox and we've got the character we're going to click on. So obviously you could change this to anything you like. You could put S in here, then put the G back over here. Probably made more sense, but yeah, so we need to create the hidden menu part now. So let's do a hidden menu container, and in here we'll just do a UL with li times 3. Let's just do some random stuff in here. And obviously you can go to town on this, do what you like, but save. Right, so we have that now as well. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I mean, obviously you'd put links in here or whatever, or you put anything you like in there. The point is we're going to be showing this div when we click on the K. So I think that is about it for the HTML. Not too painful. So let's go over to the CSS. Let's just bring that back over. Right, I think we can get straight in with the default settings that we usually do. Padding 0, want to remove all that. Margins 0, want to remove all that. Box size in border box, and what font should we use? Fonts family Fedana. Save. And I guess we should link the style sheet. There we go. It took effect now. Okay, so moving on to the body. Let's give it a height of 100 viewport height and a width of 100%. Right, the background, I'm going to do gradient. I've showed you how to do this before, but if you've forgotten, then let's go and have a look. CSS gradient generator. Just go to something like this. Create your gradient, and it will give you the CSS down here. I've already done it and picked one, so I'm going to copy it from off screen, which is that one. If we save it, and there it is. And also going to do a background attachment fixed, so we don't get any tiling should you add further content. But that's the body sorted. So let's look at this. I think I'm going to do hidden menu checkbox. And when we want to hide it, we're going to do appearance none. And there you go, it's gone. But for now, I'm going to comment that out so we can see it, so we know everything's working, and we'll come back and do that in a bit. So usually when that's better. Usually when we go to a bit of text, you get this cursor, but when we get to the K, because it's a link, we've got this arrow. So we don't want to give the game away. Let's not do that. So let's go to label, and let's change the cursor to text. And now it's all the same. So you can still click on it, but that's the only one you can click on. So there you go. Right, let's get to the Navbar. Let's make that a bit smaller. So Navbar, that's the actual bar that goes the whole way across the screen. Let's get doing that. Navbar. Let's do a good old flex display, and flex direction, I'm going to do row. Get rid of you. I'm going to give it a height of 60 and width 100%. I'm also going to give it a background colour. I'm going to use an RGBA, and that'll be 271919. And you can see it's there. Right, what else do we want to do there? I suppose we want to align and justify. Now the justification, because we've set flex direction as row, the justification is left to right, as you would expect on word processing software and all that sort of thing, and the align is up and down. So justify content will refer to the logo and the menu. So what I'm going to do here is a space between, so it does that. But because we've set this to center, it centers everything up obviously according to this, and that's why half of it's off screen. If we did this, you'd be able to see it all, but we don't want that, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, and then I want to give it some padding to the left and right, so 0 top and bottom, 20 left and right. Just push it in a bit. And obviously you can see these little bullet points. We'll need to get rid of those. So let's move on to this menu. Actually, we'll go, in fact no, let's remove that so we can see this. I think you can't see very well because of the text, it's dark colour, but let's do that. The logo itself, let's do font size 2 rem. Rem is 2 times default font size. Save. That's quite big, isn't it? Do we have it that big over here? Yeah, because we're zoomed in. There we go. Okay. Yep, font size 2 rem. So let's give it a colour. I've got some weird colour over here on the other screen for a 4. There we go. And position relative, because I want to position this menu, this secret menu, the hidden menu, relative to the logo. So that's that. Right, the actual span, if we go back to here, you'll remember that the span was the NTW. So let's do that. So let's do logo, just that immediate child span, and let's change the colour of that to steel blue, and that's done that. Next we'll do the menu, and we also want to do a display flex on that as well, because we don't want it stacked, we want it in a row. So let's do that, flex direction row, and then we can obviously do list style none, and there we have it. So for the actual anchor tags, let's get them done. Menu li a, and I'm using these chevrons to refer to the immediate child li won't, so I'm not affecting these li's over here, I'm just affecting these. So we need to do display flex on that as well, and align items, this is getting on my nerves, go away. Line items center, if anybody knows how to get rid of that, please let me know. I'm not sure where it comes. Aligns flex items across, it's description of what the CSS is doing, but anyway, yeah, justify content center. Okay, and it won't do much because we haven't given it a height, so let's do that. Height, excuse that speeder whizzing by, some boy racing in a car. So we'll give it a height of 60 pixels, and then let's do some padding left and right, so it'll be 0 top and bottom, and let's do 20 left and right. There we go. We want to get rid of the underline, so let's do text decoration none, and colour white smoke. Let's just save that. There we go. I want to do a transition effect on this, on the colour over 0.3 seconds. Save that. So we can tackle that now. So if we take this and then say hover, and then when it's hovered, change the colour to steel blue. I'm sure you've seen this done before. There we go, that's the menu sorted. Right, hidden menu. Let's give it some space. If you're wondering why I've done that, put these next to each other and a space in between. I'm trying to put it in sections. So this navbar is one bit, the label's different bit. The logo, of not put a space between because it's there together. The menu is all together, and then I'll put another space here to separate out into hidden menu, and all those will be together. So hidden, I mean, it's entirely your preference obviously, but that's just the way I do it. Container, I'm going to give this a height, so we're actually designing a box that's going to appear. Height of 250 and a width of 500. This can be whatever you like. Font size, I'm going to do 1.1 rem I think. Save, so you see that the size has changed there. Okay, so padding, let's give it a bit of padding all the way around, 20 pixels. So that's shorthand. If you only put one value in there, then it's going to apply it all the way around. If you saw up here, I did 2 values, so top and bottom, left and right. If you did 4 values, then it would go top, right, bottom, left. It's just shorthand as you learn while you're doing this. So where do we get to? Padding. So the opacity of the background that we haven't added yet is going to be 0. Sorry, let me correct myself there. It's not the opacity of the background we haven't added yet. We just don't want to show it yet. So it's going to disappear like that. So I'm going to comment that out for a sec because we want to see it. Otherwise, how are we going to know what we're doing? Going to leave that there. Top. Now, I've missed something crucial there, haven't I? Because we gave this a position of relative, we can do a position absolute on this, so we can position it relative to the logo, and therefore we can specify top, which will be let's put 50 pixels for now. It won't be, but let's do that so we can see it. And left 50 pixels as well. Save. So that's where it's going to be positioned. Actually, I haven't given a background colour either. Missed a couple of things out here. What am I doing? Background colour RGBA. I'm going to say 20. Yeah, that one. But I'm not going to do an RGBA. Just going to do an RGB. The A stands for alpha, which is the amount of transparency you can apply to it. But anyway, there's the background, so we can actually see it now. I'm going to give the bottom border bottom 2 pixels solid RGB. It's going to be 3.165.143. There you go. So I'm going to say, if we move this up a touch, so if I say that's 30, you can see that it's overlapping everything, so we need to give it a Z index. I'm going to give it a Z index of -1, and there you go. Now it appears underneath the bar, so we can now put that back to 50 because we know that's okay. Right, let's concentrate on what's inside. In fact, we do need a transition on the opacity over ½ second and the top position over 1 second. Save that. Right, I'll show you that in a minute. So, hidden menu container, the unordered list inside it. Let's do list style none. There we go. And then we can go and do copy this. Do the li. Give those items a line height. I mean, just doing this for the sake of it. I mean, like I said, in here you can do whatever you want to do. I'm just going to give it line height of 2. We're not going to do anything like link them or anything. I'll just put them there for someone to show, to be honest. So the checkbox, hidden menu check box checked. We want to affect the hidden menu container. So let's put space in between there. So the hidden menu checkbox, where's that? Hidden menu checkbox is the actual checkbox here. So when we check it and uncheck it, we can affect what happens. So when this is checked, we can say in here top 50 pixels and opacity 0.8. It's got a slight transparency, but we have to go back up here, make sure that's set to 0, and to make sure this is off screen to start with, I'm going to use a minus figure so it's up here off the screen. Because it's 250 in height, it needs to be at least that, so I'm going to say minus 300. Minus 300. Save. So if we check, it slides in, check, slides out, and that's when we can go back up to here, make sure these are all centered, okay, and do this, so the checkbox disappears, save, and we're done. So that's still selectable. These menu items work as normal, that's just an additional menu. So that is basically how you do that. You can click anywhere, it won't disappear because it's checkbox, remember. Yeah, so that's how you do that without any JavaScript required. It's a nice fun little thing to do. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a like. It does mean a lot to me to know that you enjoyed the videos, and if you've got any other video topics you think I should cover, then please leave down in the comments. Please do subscribe, and thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.